Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. So
this is Layla Santanello. She has been missing since June 27th, 2023, and she disappeared from Kingsport, Tennessee. Chronicles of Olivia and I went out to Kingsport, Tennessee on several different trips, searching for Layla Santanello or any information leading to her whereabouts. These are my thoughts on this case.
well, I have to be honest with you. I was hoping by now we would have found Layla. So this has been very hard. You know, we want to bring her home. We want to make sure that her family knows what happened to her, I think is really the most important. Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. Just like to speak to them just for a moment and just say, if you know something, say something, because her life does matter. For the family members of these people that know what happened to her, it could have been your daughter. It could have been your granddaughter. You need to ask them to stand up and speak up.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Good morning, YouTube. TGIF. I got the song playing in my head as we speak. We have already too many people in chat. I will just say hello to a lot of you. We have Adrima, Sonia. Nice to see you, Sonia. Great day, TGIF. Car Guy, SRK, YouTuber, Cheeky Chops. I read some of your comments. That's why I'm laughing coming in here. You crack me up. The Real Me Too, True Crime Addict, Lisa B. Always, Gigi for Life. It's lovely to see you. Unicorn Indiana is up in the house. MJ, it's nice to see you. Kendra, Cheryl, Nobody is Somebody. It's nice to see you. Hobo's Life is in the house. Nice to see you, Kendra. No, Delilah's laying next to me. She's laying right back here. But she's attached to me. She's touching my body somewhere. If it's not a toe, it's a hip, it's a thigh. It's I forgot to tell you guys the other night. I was sleeping, and I guess it must have got cold in the house. She climbed up under my tank top. She was between me and my tank top. I went to roll over, and usually I could push her over. She had to crawl all the way up before I could. That's the first time that's happened. West Virginia Holler Girl, it's nice to see ya. Kathleen, good morning. Lois, it's nice to see you. The Real Me Too is in the house. Michelle, it's nice to see you. Miss Lee, mom of 3. The amount of people missing in this country is astronomical. It hurts my heart to think how many may never be found. Yes. Welcome to the Bullhorn Petty Coffee. Oh, good gracious. Diane, it's nice to see you. Vermont girl, it's nice to see you. Good morning. So we're going to be having a discussion, much like what has just been breaking over the last several hours, which is this statement from Atnight Intelligence Agency on their X profile. What is it? Let me see if I can try to get some of that back just a little bit so it's not too bad. It's over here. Do I need the light on? That help? No, I don't like that. Sorry. Trying to get my lighting better. It is what it is. So Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, for those that are new to the case, I always just give a Reader's Digest version of who he is and what has happened. Obviously, you can see he's a missing teen. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was 15 years old when he went missing. He is now 16. He turned 16 on December 7th and has missed Halloween, Thanksgiving, his 16th birthday. Christmas has just passed. He hasn't been seen. No evidence anywhere of where he could be. Zero. Like zero. It's a little weird. if you ask me. But he disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was inside a home with only his mother. We saw him at the Texas Roadhouse. That footage has been released. That is the last third-party sighting of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers until he was reported missing the next morning at 6:33 a.m. on February 26th. So a lot has gone on in this case up to this point. I have been saying something's going on behind the scenes. There's just something. I mean, you've got Mommy Dearest crawling out from under a rock to start screaming that, Seth is a pedo once again, right? When all else fails, let's do that. But right before that, you had an unscrupulous PI trying to manufacture reports and information and data that was not obviously he was in the area. Obviously the pictures are from the area, but they were intentionally manipulated. I have to think that a private detective or private investigator, right, would have a more keen eye of the positioning of his camera. And even if he took the shot, would adjust the shot. Well, the shot, oh, thank you, Mally Cat. God bless you. The shot was not adjusted appropriately to match what was previewed. And it was clear that it wasn't. It wasn't like it was, barely noticeable. Like it was really, really noticeable. The information we knew was categorically false, such as those lights videos were taken at 5 o'clock in the morning, but we know who was in the car at 3 a.m. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So we knew that was going on. And then we have Mommy Dearest, with the whole pedo thing. And then there was something else, another drop of something came out after that. And this was all on the backside of 5 CPS reports being revealed. We don't know what's in those CPS reports, but we know that there's a number, and the number of CPS reports in a matter of 17, 18 months is 5, which many of us would equate to a lot prior to him disappearing. And then we learned that the mom and stepdad have actually tried to, have been trying to rehome him since October of 2022. So now the picture is really starting to develop in a lot of people's minds as to what is going on inside this case. And the problem that we're having is all these things happen, and then boom, this child just disappears in an open and active CPS report that had just recently been opened. And then we couple that with the custody issue going on in New Mexico. So I truly thought it was the 5 CPS reports that all this damage control was going on. But then we had ET, and some things were leaked on that show, such as the truck possibly being in the area potentially. It seemed like it really upset the stepfather. Thank you, Phil. Yay! Well, welcome aboard. Thanks for the love and support. I appreciate it all the way across the pond. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Happy half birthday. But it really seemed to upset the stepfather so much so that it makes us believe that it's a critical detail he did not want out. And moreover, the comment made, that comment was pretty damning, I don't remember the exact terminology used, but it was something to the effect of those idiots potentially, or some other words were used to imply that. Didn't even know it was my truck. That was pretty bold. I don't know if that was a slip of the tongue because he was around somebody he perceived as, comfortable, because it seems like these conversations happened in private. But either way you look at it, that was pretty telling, and the other thing that really got him really fired up was, why did the mom go look right immediately at the school? That seemed to really fire him up greatly. So we have a couple things here. And so I kept saying, all these things, especially him even going up on a YouTube channel. Nobody's heard from Mommy Dearest or the stepfather in literally months. And then all of a sudden it was the birthday and people were questioning, where's that family? And of course, Mommy Dearest decides to argue with people all day about why you can't say happy birthday to a child that just turned 16 instead of just saying happy birthday to the child that just turned 16. It seemed really obnoxious. And so that happened. Then he goes on to this podcast, and now, boom, we have a search showing that this man's searching. It seems like there's a lot of damage control being done here, and I'm kind of mixed with the emotion of this, and there's a few reasons why. It's because on one hand, you don't want to knock any legitimate search, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't, if they're out there with the right heart and genuinely searching because they're concerned, I didn't want to, I don't want to condemn somebody for legitimately helping, but it just seems so odd that it's happening when it happens, right? For example, and this is the way it's always been since the beginning of this case. If we look back to the beginning, right, we didn't even hear from these parents until really, like, in all fairness, the very first social media channel they went on was a small channel. It's kind of weird because it's a small channel. I don't know why they would start there first that many days after their child has been missing, but they did. But the very next day they met with mainstream media, which was the WSMV video. It's the one that we dub the green shirt video. It's the one that people analyzed and saw marks on Chris's arms. It's that one. And so that was March 4th. But when we went back to watch the case, because that's kind of when some of us started hearing about the case, right? And started getting a little insight on what happened, that kind of brought us in. And we did a lot of back research to find out what led to this point, right? And during that is when we realized that the stepfather was out there in the very beginning days, telling news organizations not to film his house, which was really odd for people like me. Oh, thank you. Sonia gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. Aw, Saucy. Thank you, Saucy. I appreciate that. And then we realized that by watching the news carrying up to that 4th interview, we realized that the investigation actually took a turn into from a missing person into an investigation on that day. Like the 3rd leading into the 4th, the 2 times that they decided to have their very first interviews. So you see this pattern of when things are not working for them, or something happens, they kind of come out from under their rock. Now, that was one time, right? Now you fast forward a little bit. You don't hear from them after this little round of interviews. It's like silence. Then the lights video hits that show flashlights on the outside of their home at 3 something in the morning. And then all of a sudden, you have boom, 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 all these interviews. And then people are analyzing. I mean, there were so many interviews. It was hard to get through all of them because they were almost in rapid succession. How many places they were popping into to explain this and explain that and this, that, and the other. And they want the tough questions and all this, including on Smiley's world, Smiley Stories world, right? So now we're finding out that Mommy Dearest is crawling out from Iraq. We know horrible reports are being disseminated on social media by an unscrupulous PI. Now we have the stepfather crawling out from under his rock and going on a podcast and being filmed searching in the woods. Something is going on here. I'm sorry. Something is going on here, in my opinion. But again, I don't want to knock any legitimate search, right? And then I find out they brought a spirit box with them. A spirit box. Implying what exactly? What exactly is that? Oh, thank you, Michelle. What exactly is that supposed to imply? I'm just curious. But before I get started and go through a few things with you guys, I want to backtrack because we did have a person in here earlier that was chatting that did not believe that Seth had taken a polygraph and passed a polygraph. And I wanted to assure everybody, Seth took a polygraph test that the Nancy Grace show had set up for him. And those results were publicly disseminated. Now, this it all happened while this live had already previously been set up. So I tried to find, what I could. And this is what I found. I haven't even watched it. So I read the description. I think this is it. But if it's not, I will find it and play it at the end of all of this. Okay. But for right now, I'm just going to play this section of it. I'll just play what I found. I almost forgot to. Okay.
His father, Seth, on the hot seat on national TV and asked him, would he be willing to take a polygraph? He said yes. He did take a polygraph. Straight back out to Seth Rogers. Joining us is Sebastian's father. And now joining us is a renowned polygrapher, Kendall Schule, former head of the entire FBI polygraph program in D.C., former special agent with the FBI in D.C. He is at Kendall Investigations. Also joining us, Tony Mathis, who is helping Seth Rogers as he walks this very, very rocky path.
Hey, Seth.
First of all, let me just get this out of the way. This is a yes, no, Kendall Schule. Did Seth Rogers pass his polygraph?
Yes, he did.
Okay, Seth Rogers, tell me about going and taking the polygraph. We want to hear every single word because I've got a stack of nasty online posts about you failing, about you not going, blah, blah, blah. A lot of trolls chiming in.
Okay, now I love Nancy Gray. I forgot about that comment. Even Nancy knows what a stupid troll is. Even Nancy knows what a stupid troll is. Nasty Grams. Aw, who knew? Who knew they went real life and condemned people? What would she say? She's like, whatever. Whatever. I don't got time for it. I don't got time for it. Yes, Miss Nancy. Yes, Miss Nancy. I want to go back and do that again. I love that. I forgot that was in there. Hold on. Okay.
His polygraph.
Yes, he did.
Okay, Seth Rogers, tell me about going and taking the polygraph. We want to hear every single word because I've got a stack of nasty online posts about you failing, about you not going, blah, blah, blah. A lot of trolls chiming in.
Those are hate channels and they never get a damn thing right. Okay, I just want to make sure it's super clear. They don't ever get anything correct. So if you are watching somebody that said that this man has not passed his polygraph test, unsubscribe. Why? Because they do not know what they are talking about, but they still keep talking. You don't want to be going in people's chat and looking stupid, right? Anyway, so there you have it. He passed his polygraph, that's an FBI trained administrator right there. He passed his polygraph test. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was done on the Nancy Grace show. It was scheduled by Nancy Grace. It was broadcasted by Nancy Grace. The results were broadcasted on national TV. Seth Rogers passed his polygraph test, and Seth Rogers provided his whereabouts, his actual alibi to the world. He was at work, at a jail, on camera, without a phone. I just want to make sure that you guys understand. Like, there people that are beating up on Seth, I am so sorry for you. The man didn't do it. He's the only one that's been here except this renewed love interest that now has just manifested itself from the mom and the stepfather. But, you know, prior to this renewed love fest from the mom and the stepfather, it was just Seth. It was Seth, his team. That's who it was. That's who it has been prior to even Dog or Nick coming aboard. Without the strong support that Seth had and has. Good God, I don't know where Seth would honestly be at this moment. And you think these a-holes give a crap? Of course not.
Okay, Seth Rogers, tell me about going and taking the polygraph. We want to hear every single word, because I've got a stack of nasty online posts about you failing, about you not going, blah, blah, blah. A lot of trolls chiming in. Let's get to the truth.
Guys, you know what? I need to clip that. That needs to be added to part of our intro. That needs to be added to part of our intro. Okay. Well, thank you, Jacob, because if you hadn't talked about the polygraph, we wouldn't have gotten our first laugh of the day. So we appreciate that. But I hope it's cleared it up for you. He did take a polygraph test legitimately. He's passed. He's done everything that social media asks of a parent. You know, the treatment he's got is disgusting. It should not be tolerated in our community at all. You know, it just shouldn't. We should be above that. This is a child. I mean, look behind me. This is a child nobody has seen for months. For months. My biggest question is, why did it take months to get the stepfather looking for him? And you hear Doofus saying, well, you know, he's been out with us several times. This is the first time he's let us tape him. He's just said, well, F it. No. You guys nope. You guys were not talking to him like you are today, months ago. So this was all recent, renewed. This is probably right about the time we got the photo op from SF, and it was done as such. So they decided to start doing this and start doing that here and there to create a trail. You know, I'm sorry, I don't trust these people further than I can throw them. I'm not going to change my stance on that. I don't trust none of them. So I think the biggest problem I have is the whole spirit box. I think that is the most problematic of everything that we've learned, you know, over the last couple weeks, and the damage control that has been disseminated. So I do want to read, I know it's been read already, but I do want to read the Atnight media post. I think it's important that we get a good understanding of what's going on. Is this the one? Is this it? Hold on, let me find the right one. No, I don't think either of these are right. Hold on just a second. I think I shut down the first one. There's one that just came out. Maybe it is one of these. Maybe it is one of these. Hold on a second. Okay, it is. So this is the most recent one, and this had nothing to do with the satellite imagery just yet. But there is satellite imagery, and I'm not going to really get into that until more is developed from that. But we will touch base on it. And this one says, let me share this instead. I did have it up. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. So this is what we're referring to. So we're going to go over this with a little bit of a fine-tooth comb to make sure we all have a good understanding of what we're reading here. So there's no misunderstandings with it, at least from my purview. Dog the Bounty Hunter and Atnight Private Intelligence Agency remain steadfast in the pursuit of the truth surrounding the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, who vanished February 25th, 2024 at the age of 15. Now, there is some text messages circulating, I believe, from TBI that says that he was last seen on February 26th. Atnight Intelligence Agency is saying February 25th. I think the reason why Atnight Intelligence Agency is saying February 25th as opposed to the 26th is because that is the last time any third party has seen Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And I believe TBI, until any information arises that the last time, because if you remember, the mother stated she went to bed at midnight, which would imply February 26th, and she knew her son was in the room. So, and she would have been the last verifiable sighting of him. So I think they're using until such time that information changes. I think TBI and law enforcement are still going on the February 26th. Now, that is just my opinion. That doesn't mean that is exactly why Atnight is using the 25th and TBI is using the 26th. But that's what I think is the reason for the discrepancy in those times. Today's update presents substantial developments in requests for public participation. They're calling for information. This is related to activity in areas of Enoch Way in Gallatin, Tennessee. They're specifically seeking information related to suspicious activity observed in on the 100 block of Enoch Way in Gallatin, Tennessee, from Friday the 23rd, which is pretty interesting, through Monday the 26th. And I didn't understand why, so I went and looked at a calendar and realized that Friday of February 23rd, his father spoke to him on the 22nd. Friday the 23rd is when I have an email on that date, but I received an email from a friend of a schoolmate of Sebastian's telling me that Friday he was not acting himself. He was very withdrawn and reserved. So I don't know, if there was something that's the only thing that pops into my head when it comes to Friday the 23rd, other than Seth did not talk to him that day. He talked to him on Thursday, but he didn't talk to him on Friday. That's the only thing that resonates with me for that day as well. So I'm not sure why they're going back to that date, if something may have happened or transpired. We did hear of also a potential poker game, even though that has never been corroborated at all. It's still rumor. We have nothing to corroborate it one way or another. But the poker game we heard was Thursday the 22nd. But that's the only other thing that comes to my mind when it comes to this date. But whatever happened on the 23rd, I don't know why they're going back there. Okay, anyways, getting past that. We are particularly interested in various cars and trucks seen in the area during this time frame. That's an interesting statement. That's an interesting statement. If you observe any unusual behavior or activity in the area, we urge you to come forward, as even minor details could provide critical leads. Sorry. They do have some satellite imagery. We've seen the locations captured on that imagery. I'm not going to really go over the imagery right at this juncture. Really, the next thing I really want to discuss is what is kind of turning everybody's head and making people scream from the rooftops and stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit about what I see here. So Fifth Amendment protections invoked by Katie Proudfoot. And under here, it says Dog the Bounty Hunter, his team, and Atnight confirmed that Katie Proudfoot, the mother of Sebastian Rogers, has purportedly been instructed by an attorney to refrain from participating in any public forums regarding the case. That includes, I would assume, public forum means mainstream media, publications, including social media. But they've confirmed, this is the only stuff that I see that has been confirmed, and that's that an attorney has instructed the mom not to be involved in any public forums. That appears to be the only thing, because that's set apart from the next paragraph below. Additionally, Ms. Proudfoot has allegedly, and I want to make sure that that is underscored, allegedly. It didn't say confirmed in this area. It says allegedly. So I'm just going to caution people before running, with this too much, that this is allegedly. So Ms. Proudfoot has allegedly been advised to invoke her Fifth Amendment right under the United States Constitution in relation to the entirety of the ongoing investigation. Somebody is saying, what does she have to plead the Fifth? Does she plead the Fifth on this infamous stand? And that's when you really know an idiot when you hear one. Right? When they say something as oxymoron and stupid as that, right? When you are being criminally investigated, you're being talked to under two things, under two situations, as a witness or as a suspect. There's no any other reason why law enforcement would be speaking to you unless you are a witness or a suspect. If you are a suspect, they most likely will read you your rights. And one of those rights is to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege, not to speak without an attorney, not to answer any questions without an attorney. Right? Now, again, this is allegedly, but you don't need to be on a witness stand to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege. It's when you're being questioned as a suspect. Do you need to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege unless you're willing to cooperate? And then you're an open book and don't invoke that right. You cooperate with law enforcement and answer all their questions. Now, again, I want to bring you back to allegedly, because I don't know whether this has been confirmed or how this has been confirmed, but I did see the paragraph above said this information was confirmed. But down at the bottom, it says this is alleged. So I don't know how, I don't know to what degree they know whether this is true or not, or if they just heard it from a reliable source. So I just thought that might help. I want to be fair here. And when I look at this, I know how cautious, just like any law enforcement body, an intelligence agency would use best practices as well. So I have to assume that every word matters. So they select their words wisely. And so I have to think that if something's confirmed and they stand on that, they're going to say confirmed. But if it wasn't fully vetted or fully confirmed, I could see them using the word allegedly. So I'm very curious as to whether or not the Fifth Amendment, or whether or not, the mother has retained legal counsel and is no longer willing to speak with law enforcement, because that's basically what invoking your Fifth Amendment privilege is no longer, answering questions or working with law enforcement. I mean, it kind of severs that tie. So it's very interesting. So I don't want people getting too carried away with these statements. I mean, it is interesting, and wow, if it's true. But I do see some clear differences here. One's confirmed, one's allegedly, so just be cognizant of that. This is the absolute right of Miss Proudfoot, which is rightfully irrevocable, or circumventable. So I don't know, again, if that's fully true, if it's partially true, if it's 100% true. I know that it appears Atnight is careful. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So I was not, while I was reading that, I was not on this page. So if you guys could give me just a few moments to get caught up, at least on the last several. Oh, Blackhawk's in here. It's nice to see you. I saw Seth in here. So it's great to see you, but I didn't get to see some of your comments. It's nice to see you all. Thank you. Was fixing to drop some major bombshells that night on that live. Had Chris not come up. Too bad. Now we will never know what he was actually going to tell that night. I know. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I think the truth will come out. I don't know how to take ET because he's been so nasty to me for no reason. But I also know somebody that appears to be, troubled with things. And to me, he appears that he's struggling potentially with some of the information he knows or knows to be true or suspects maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But I do feel if it boiled over once already, it could boil over again, I could find anywhere donkeys whereabouts Monday morning. I run into conversations. I probably should read them first before I read them out loud. Also, Sheila, I kind of figured that some people were like said that it was blurred out because they didn't want the general public to see their cameras on their house, and I'm like, how in the world does that make sense? Because if that was the case, the whole darn community would be blurred out on Google Maps. And so yours absolutely does make sense. That's what I had assumed. It was either law enforcement or, well, actually, I think law enforcement is the only one protected, because I don't even think government officials of any sort are protected, because especially if they're, if they have to be voted on, they're required to give their personal residence. That's publicized, believe it or not. Would the attorney be the same attorney who CP used to take baby from Nina? I don't know. I really don't. I have no earthly idea. Again, we're all kind of learning this information all at the same time. When it's posted is what we learn. The information we learn from that is literally from other people corroborating certain information or stuff like that. But I mean, we all learn about the information at the same time, and the information we learn is the information we learn. I have no earthly idea to even have a clue who their attorney is, unless they file in, as an appearance for them, which there's no active cases that this attorney would be filing in on as an appearance. So I honestly don't know. It had been said that in the beginning, when we heard about poker game, that this guy did tell them online. So I wonder if that night was online too. Huh. Like an online poker night, maybe? Is that what you're trying to say, possibly? Interesting. Is Seth still here? Seth, did Terry even show up while you were at the I'm not sure if he doesn't usually answer questions. Well, I guess he does occasionally, but I don't know if he'll answer questions in chat. You're right. It's witchcraft, and that's wrong. The truth will come out. KP Wells, go talking and tell what happened to her son. All of this is happening because KP won't talk. We haven't even seen her in a significant while. Mama Bear says spirits boxes to be pseudoscientific with no credible evidence. It's a radio at the end of the day. It's a rather unique one. What makes it so are its tools and features and how its radio signal works. Thank you, Mama Bear. If my child was missing, but it still frustrates me because, this whole time you've got the mom and stepdad screaming he ran away, nothing to see over here. And the first time we see a search from the mom and stepdad, they're bringing a spirit box. And it wasn't even the mom. It was just the stepdad. They're bringing a spirit box. I mean, I just... And it's working. Like they're like, you can hear it say something like my body coming out of it. And it's like, so you're implying, I need to woosah something. I'm just saying. It's frustrating. I don't know how to express myself other than that. It is the most frustrating. Like, does he even know what he's doing with the damn thing? I mean, does it come with instructions? Did he read the instructions? Or is it like many of the other things? He just turns it on and starts talking. I'm sorry, I had to. You're a liar. Good gracious. If my child was missing, I would say do anything to get their name out there. I wouldn't stop until my baby is home. I'm glad that Sebastian had Seth. I am very thankful, Sebastian has Seth as well. It's because if it was left up to the mom and stepfather, this child would have gotten no attention whatsoever. And it sounds like that's exactly what they wanted. I mean, hindsight's, go back and look at the behaviors. I mean, from the very beginning, telling news crews not to film your house, waiting 8 days to go on national TV and then say law enforcement told me not to. Why would law enforcement tell you not to? And I know that law enforcement has implied, I don't know. I just don't know any parents that wouldn't be screaming from the rooftop for their child. I just don't know. And if law enforcement did tell them not to go on national TV, when you have a child that you don't know what happened, how is that okay? And it's my understanding that they didn't even show photos of Sebastian in those first, like the first 48 are the most critical in anything, whether you're missing, whether it's a murder, no matter what kind of investigation you have, the first 48 are the most important, no matter how you look at it. And they're slow walking. This is what I'm hearing. I didn't see it for myself. But they're slow walking photos. They're slow walking information. Hi. She woke up. Oh crap. She's awake. She's awake. See, I like everybody. There we go. Say hi. I'm my mommy's baby. I'm the only thing that matters. I'm the only thing that matters anymore. That's Delilah, the crime fighting dog. She might be a good dog. She keeps her nose to the ground. I tell you what, this dog here literally sniffs every blade of grass. Like it's a joke now when I'm trying to get her in the house, because she lollygags because she's got to sniff everything. So when I finally get her to, pick up the step, she starts slowing down right by the back door or right by the front door. And I'm like, get your butt in the house. I'm like, don't, you missed one. You missed one. Lollygagger. She is a lollygagger. Yeah, Katie better plead the fifth. In my opinion, I believe that Secret Service is involved in this case due to Katie's military knowledge and background knowledge. She may have used. Interesting, Sheila. Interesting perspective. Well, we did hear, I think even at the beginning of the case, like when this stuff was all breaking and they were still searching for Sebastian, I was pretty sure that somebody said the Secret Service was involved as a resource, but I can't remember how they explained it, but it was something like they weren't there physically. They were doing whatever they were doing electronically, like through the internet and a resource that way. So, I mean, I think the Secret Service may have been involved in this, from the beginning in a specific capacity. Nurse Cindy says, Betty, the Fifth Amendment does not cover if it involves a child, parent, or stepfather. That it's only in several. No. You can invoke your right to in any criminal investigation. If you are a suspect in a crime, you have a right to keep your mouth shut. Period. So it doesn't matter what kind of, all it has to do is you being a suspect or a person of interest in a crime, and you have a right to keep your mouth shut. And anybody that is, and that's why it's weird, because I can always tell people, the ones that have been counseled by an attorney, because, they will come right out and ask when law enforcement comes to your door, are you here to question me as a witness or a suspect? And they have to answer you. They're required by law to answer you. And so if they say a witness, you're not under any obligation. They don't have to read you your rights. They don't have to do any of that. They can just ask you questions. But if they are questioning you as a person of interest or a suspect, they're required to read you your rights, and you do not have to cooperate. That is your rights under our Constitution, our laws. It doesn't matter what type of crime it is. If they're questioning you as a subject or suspect, you don't have to say anything. Because you got to remember, anything you say to them will be used against you. So you don't have to say a damn thing. And if you're ever confused why an officer is at your door, you ask them just like that. Are you questioning me as a witness or a suspect? I kind of thought from the start in how, in pre-planning this, they discuss how laws say a spouse cannot be compelled to testify against the other. Cannot be compelled doesn't mean they can't. See, people always mistake that as well. If a spouse is willing to speak against their significant other, there is no protection. I still, they can. It's hard to pierce that husband-wife protection if you have an uncooperating husband or wife. But it doesn't mean that they can't. Every single morning, I wake up in hopes that CP and KP have some shiny new bracelets, and Sebastian has been returned to Seth. I think we all have. Okay, let me get started. Oh, and then I also wanted to go over some other stuff with you. Before we go too much further, I did want to just take a break from, oops, I just lost my, there's no sound on this, but I'm gonna have to drop this and add it back whenever I put up my next presentation or whatever. So this is a case that I just wanted to take a few moments and read this and show people. This is from Florida. If anybody has any information or knows anybody in Florida, please pass this along. It's reposting because when people share, it is only sharing the picture, not my post. My mom has been missing since she has posted this. I sent this to the sheriff. I sent the sheriff to her house for a well check, and her boyfriend, Wayne Sconyers, told them she didn't live there, never has, and doesn't even know her. Him and my mom have been together since I was 5. He has beat her multiple times and has been arrested for several of those times to be released the next day. If you see my mom or have heard from her, please get back to me. They live in Mulberry. My mom has a lot of mental health issues and usually goes MIA, but she would never post something like this out of fear of what other people would think of her. So this is making me extremely worried. And this is the photo she posted of her parents, domestic abuse. So it sounds like Mulberry, Florida. If you've know her, please post this information around if at all possible. Anything that we can possibly do to help would be, I'm sure, greatly appreciated by the family. So another topic of conversation I wanted to go over was the unscrupulous PI, and we're going to save that for later tonight. I've got some law pulled up for Tennessee PIs. We're going to be going through the PI, professional regulations. That's it. The professional regulations, the statutes that govern PIs in Tennessee, so we can just get in the know of whether, especially if you're going to hire a PI in Tennessee, you're going to need to know what to look for, what their requirements are, what their do's and don'ts are. And we're going to do that later tonight. We're going to be doing that around 5 o'clock. I'll be putting up a thumbnail and preparing the show within the hour. So please don't forget to come in later tonight. We're going to be going over the do's and don'ts of PIs in Tennessee, as well as some other critical information. But lastly, before I close up, I do want to go over, there were more. Hold on a second. There were several that came out. Okay, we'll go over this one real quick, and then we're going to be closing out. This is another post from Atnight Intelligence Agency. I think I got the right one. I'm pretty sure I got the right one. Let me get over here. Yes, I think this is the right one. Yes, this is the right one. So as we know, there is some new satellite imagery of a couple key locations that it appears that Atnight Intelligence Agency has identified. And it sounds like it's the 100 block of Enoch Way and the 1000th block of Stafford Court. One's in Gallatin, one's in Hendersonville. And it appears that they have some satellite imagery of the 23rd in the morning from, I believe, 10 something to 11 o'clock, 11:30, somewhere in that range of these images. And you can see they are ultra crystal clear. One thing that we haven't been provided is an evening shot, or how clear an evening shot would be. We have to remember that technology is making such an impact on our society. We went from, think about it, home phones to phones we carry around. And now, not just phones we carry around, phones that we can literally get to the other side of the world. TVs on our phone. Like, technology has brought us so very far. Technology, look at our mail. We don't even need to mail letters anymore. We just need an email address, and boom, within seconds, we can send something off. We have, CCTV footage and cameras and systems all over this country because it's affordable now, right? So everybody can have one. Traffic cameras, tag plate readers. I mean, technology has brought us a lot. Many people don't know that we have satellite telephones, satellite internets. There are satellites literally in orbit all around our Earth. would it be so surprising to think that some are capturing images all over our country, all over our world? It appears that there are satellites that do just that. So it makes me wonder what else these satellites and satellite images have caught. I would love, 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 love to see what the images look like on or at night, you know, no pun intended, at night. No pun intended. But I would love, 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 love to see what these would look like at night and how clear the night vision on a satellite like this would look. That would really be a game changer. But you know what is really good? It sounds like somebody's got something. I mean, they're dropping the bait. You know what I'm saying? They're dropping the bait. It seems like they really thought outside the box and really brought in something that would hopefully help them find out any potential activity during the time frame that Sebastian disappeared. This should be quite interesting, finding out what really happened and what information they actually have. So I'm looking forward to more stuff coming out from Atnight. I'm looking forward to more information coming in. If you guys have information related to this case that could help bring Sebastian home, you heard something, please send me what you hear. bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I know it's kind of easy to get sucked into all the drama of this case and really forget why we're all here, which is for the boy behind me. I just like to keep ourselves in this channel and the people that watch and support this boy, please stay away from the drama. Let's just stay focused. They keep saying we're bashing somebody because we're following the leads and the leads speak to high heaven when it comes to the mother and father. Bashing them, that's an inaccurate statement. That's an inaccurate statement all day long. What they're doing to Seth is bashing. What we're doing here is pointing out the obvious. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And if people can call it what they want. Guys, if you guys can do me a favor and go out, if you're on your computer, just scroll up a little bit and hit that thumbs up button. If you're on your iPhone or your Samsung, please consider going out while we go through the sponsors of this show today and give the thumbs up. We work very hard on this. We're going to be coming back. We're going to learn a little more information about PIs and what the do's and don'ts of PIs in Tennessee are. And hey, did our unscrupulous PI violate anything? I think he might have. So you're going to want to come back here at 5 o'clock, well, maybe 5:30 tonight, and we're going to be having an open discussion. And I am going to be turning on the phones tonight so we can all have a discussion. I love talking and, mingling with my audience. So it's a great time for us to have a good little discussion, or maybe some of your questions or concerns about the case or a person involved in the case, right? So we'll have that coming on tonight at 5:30. I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much, Melanie. I love your loving support for this channel. God bless you. Mally Cat, same to you. Phil, our beautiful Sonia gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. Please don't forget to tell Sonia thank you for those memberships. I've got to tell you, with everything going on in her world, she always seems to have such a positive and sweet demeanor and attitude. She's just a blessing, and I'm very, very thankful to have her in my sphere. Saucy, thank you so much. Peggy, 4 months with this channel. This is my favorite channel of all true crime. Oh, thank you, Peggy. God bless you. Michelle gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. If you don't forget to tell Michelle thank you. God bless you. Oh, Wendy, it's nice to see you. Good always wins. God is watching. Prayers for Seth and Sebastian. Our beautiful Gypsy is up in the house. The spirit box footage was not cool, in my opinion. That should have been a private session. I agree with you. And not only that, but what are they implying here? You know? What are they implying here? Was that the SF clown that told KP to do the, who knows, Mama Bear, who knows? Ah, and I could say it, Aletha. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Guys, please don't forget to pass Sebastian's face and his story around to anybody that you're sitting down for coffee. Talk to the person next to you. You're pumping gas and somebody's pumping gas. Talk to them about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Word of mouth is how we get his name and face out there. So today, you not just put 10 flyers up. If you guys have done the 10 flyer challenge, thank you so much. Send me the emails. Make sure that it is in there. Show me a video that you did 10 flyers, and we're going to put you into a drawing for a shirt. I'm going to sponsor a shirt through Sonia's shop. You can pick whatever shirt you want. And I'd like to do that. But also, I want another challenge. Walk and talk challenge. 10 people. I want you to hit 10 people in the grocery line, in the gas line, wherever you go today. Is it a coworker? Is it a friend? You know, someone? Is it a parent? Pass Sebastian's name around. Let them know that there is this boy from Hendersonville, Tennessee that could be missing anywhere. Have they seen him? Have them tell the story of Sebastian to another person or two. Let's get Sebastian's name out further and further by different avenues that could potentially help locate Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Guys, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here, for hanging out with me. You could have been anywhere else, but you were hanging out with Bullhorn Betty, so I do appreciate it. God bless every one of you. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. Let's say it together. Kind to one another. So if somebody really gets you frustrated and upset where you can't be kind to them, then don't go there. Don't turn them on, right? Don't turn them on. Don't let them get in your head. Don't let these a-holes rent space. Go to the good channels. Go to Brittany J, Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast. By the way, I just want to tell you guys, please keep them still in your prayers. It sounds like things have been progressing nicely, so I'm so thankful for everything. But always still keep those prayers going for the E family. We love them. We just want to, make sure that middle E just rocks it out, right? We want him to rock it out without his coffee beans out, because I don't think he should have coffee. I don't know if he has coffee. I don't know if he's allowed coffee. Okay. He might be allergic to the channel. Okay. I don't know. All I'm saying is that we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers, along with our own members and family members here within the coffee club that are also struggling with whatever they're struggling with. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. God bless each and every one of you. And we'll see you at 5:30. Be there or be square. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.